She's Velvet Steel. What's up? It's been a while since I've been on. I've missed you. I've missed being here. And if you saw the title of the video today for Coffee Talk, it's Fat Talk. We're going to talk about fat. And I'm totally going to bring on a friend right now. Her name is Angie. So I'm just waiting for her to pop on. Actually, I think I might be able to invite her. But while we're doing that, while I'm waiting for Angie here so I can add her in, let's go ahead and just talk about some thunder thighs, some Bleg, some cellulite, some mom pooch, some bat wings. I think we all know what those are, right? So can you be honest and go, what is your thing? Like, what is the thing that you see it every time you step in the mirror when you try something on? Right? I've always been the girl that's got a lot of junk in the trunk. And then my waist fits a little different because I got to adjust for my junk in the trunk, right? So I got that going on. I also get the Bleg. The Bleg is like the no definition between the butt and the leg. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the junk in the trunk, but then you also have the little bump, or some would call it saddlebag, is a little more to the outside maybe. You just get that little bump. Yeah, so what's your deal? Like, you got the Bleg going, you got the junk in the trunk going, what you got? Oh, muffin tops. Yes, Brooke, you are so right on. Muffin tops. So I'm waiting for my friend Angie to pop on, and when she does, I'm inviting her on. We're just going to have a little conversation about muffin tops, junk in the trunk, fat talks, inner tubes, whatever. You know, fat. How many of you would say, gosh, I've got at least 10 pounds that I've been trying to lose for a long time, and it's killing me to get it off? May is like that season, right? I was just talking to some girlfriends earlier this week. May always feels like this mad rush of preschool graduations, kindergarten graduations, 5th grade graduations, 8th grade graduations, senior graduations. You got all that, college graduations. You've got end of the year programs, end of the year concerts, end of the year recitals, spring sports, last minute projects. Oh my gosh, like this is the time of year, isn't it? That it just gets crazy. I always feel like September is this way and then May is this way for parents. Anybody else feel me? September, although I feel like we're ready to get into a groove, May, we're like, get me out of this groove. So we're like running around. The kids are wearing dirty underwear. It's got stains in their clothes, and they're wearing the clothes they wore yesterday to school. And we're like, whatever. I'm good with however they come at this point. So anyway, yeah. Okay. So I'm waiting here for my Angie friend to log on. Brooke, are you feeling me on that? Hello for May Rhythms. Let's see. So I'm waiting for add viewers. I haven't done an adding a viewer for a while here. So I'm just getting ready for that. So yeah, so your rhythm of life might be similar to a lot of other mamas right now. And on top of that, we also then go, summer's coming. And so you might be feeling like, I got my shorts that I got to pull out. I've got my swimsuits, my tank tops that I'm going to be pulling out really soon. Maybe you've already put some on and you're like, not sure I'm loving how these are fitting and how it's feeling. Anybody else feeling that? Still waiting for my friend Angie. I might make you come on with me here, Brooke. So anyway, yeah, that is also something very common, right? In this time of years, we're thinking, gotta lose the last 5 pounds, gotta get into my clothes, feeling like, I'm just not ready to bare my arms and legs and belly to the world. And can I just say, wow, how fast can you and I get into a prison in our head over our fat? How about this scenario? Can anybody relate? You walk into your bathroom to get ready, you take a shower, then you're getting ready, and then you see it. Like you see the spot, that one spot. Like for you, maybe it's like, oh my gosh, I lifted my arm and it wiggles, and you're like, ugh. Or you see the spot right underneath your belly button that housed a bunch of babies, and you're like, love that I have to house my babies, wish it wouldn't look like I'm housing babies. Or maybe it's the spot right on the back of your thigh, and you're like, ugh. Or yeah, maybe you're just feeling, I don't know, girls still have the thigh gap goal. I don't know about you. So, okay, I got a message from Angie. She's like, I'm set and ready. So Angie, you need to log on, girl. So let me send her a message. So get on the live video on the page and I'll invite you in. Yeah, so anyway, she's coming. We all get there, right? We see it, we feel it, and then we get distracted by it, don't we? How many of you have experienced you see it, you don't like it, and then you think about it all day long? So every time you sit in your chair, you're thinking about your thighs. Or every time you lift up your arm, you're thinking about that spot. Or every time you sit down, you're thinking about needing to tuck yourself into your pants. And you're just conscious to it all day long. Is that anybody? Are you feeling me here? That our fat can get us trapped. Anybody, or is that just me? I know it's not just me. I know that it is a girl thing because this is my life, friends. This is what I do for a living, is talk to girls about how they feel about themselves and their fat. All right, Angie, I see you, girl. I'm trying to add you in now. I'm going to need to touch this here, move my screen. So, allow viewers, add viewers to be in your broadcast. Yes. Angie, let's add you in and see. Okay, so I sent you an invite. Angie, it should be that you're able to accept it. Are you able to accept it? Because I sent a request to you, Angie, to enter the broadcast. So look on your screen, girl, and see if you can enter in. So I hear some things, not just you, I need to lose 20 plus pounds. Yeah, absolutely. The good news is, you guys, this has been my world for 20 years. And so there's been some battles. I've got some battle wounds and some scars to prove it. But this is the kind of stuff that I battle out with girls all the time. This is the kind of talk that we have. This is the kind of conversation. And let's just be honest. This kind of conversation, if we get really into it, nitty gritty, it brings some tears. It brings some discord in relationships, some massive frustration. Gosh, I feel like, okay, yeah, Angie, I see that you're on there. It still says that you're invited, waiting for you to join in. So let's see if you can see that. Yeah, so it's not an easy topic. It's not something that we like to face. And isn't it the never-ending battle? Like for all girls, isn't it the thing that it's like we're constantly going after it? I think I read a statistic one time, and I like to bring this up, but the majority, and actually above majority, I think it was somewhere between 80 and 90% of women are on a diet 70% of their life. Isn't that crazy? That 80 to 90% of women would say they're on a diet for like 70% of their life. I may not have the numbers exactly correct, but that's startling, because we think of diet and we go, well, that's trying to apply some sort of a solution, right? So obviously this is a one-sided conversation until I get my Angie girl on here, but I'm curious what you guys would say is how you would describe health and wellness. What does that entail in your mind? I think the obvious that I think most people would answer would entail two things. So I'd like to hear what your perspective is on, if you were to describe health and wellness, what it would be in your mind. So, and I'm looking here to see how I can get Angie on my screen because she's still not with me. She's looking. Add viewers to be in your trying to add you in, and yeah, it's not letting me. You're already invited, it says, Angie. So don't know what's up with that. Angie, mine was on the bottom of my screen. It says I had a little picture with a side picture, a little side window, and I touched it and invited you. On my computer, it's up at the top that says that I invited you. So I'm not sure where it would show up on your screen. Yeah, okay, so Cecilia said, oh my gosh, Christy, bringing this up, everyone judging each other. So glad you said that. We have got to talk about that, friend, because isn't that the truth? That a lot of our motivation is like, what are people thinking of me? So we're going to get right back to that because that was actually one of the points that I had written down. But okay, let me go to Cecilia. What did you say? You said something about happiness, finding joy in small things. That would be overall for you wellness. I think, yeah, that word for sure, wellness as a whole. What about physical wellness? What do you think physical wellness entails, Cecilia, if I were to get a little bit more specific then? And then back to the comment, Christy, everyone's judging each other. Okay, can we get really honest about this? When you look at somebody who's overweight, what do you assume? Now, you may not want to type it in the comments, or maybe you're like, that's all right, I'm going to put it in there. Maybe you admit at one point you used to assume one thing, but you don't anymore. I'll get real with you. I've been in the health and wellness, the fitness industry specifically for 20 years. So I worked and lived in a gym for years. Christy, you're awesome. She's like, I don't assume anything. I did. I assumed, and now you guys are all going to probably hate me or relate. I assumed that if somebody was overweight, that they either struggled with overeating and they lacked control, they struggled with loneliness or identity issues, and so they used food to cope, or they had no motivation, no drive, no self-control. I think for a long time, I assumed that in my mind, that there was that. Obviously, there's a whole lot more reasons that lead into what our body looks like. But because that's the way that I saw it, then I had high standards for myself of I can't have fat on my body. Why? Because I don't want somebody to make me or to believe that I'm lazy or that I've got identity issues or that I turn to food for the wrong reasons or that I'm less than in any way, right? That's where my insecurity came from and where my drive, and even worse, as a trainer and as a group fitness instructor, I thought, I can't be motivating if I don't look a certain way. That's what I believed for a lot of years. Okay, Cecilia's back. She says, physical wellness. Do you mean something like taking time to exercise, squats, dancing? Yeah, absolutely. So I think a lot of people would say physical wellness consists of exercise and then one other thing. Christy, that's what people think of me right now. You know, I'll be honest with you, Christy, I've shifted my perspective by the grace of God alone, not because I'm any nicer or kinder. I mean, anything good fruit coming out of my life and change has been by God's grace. Absolutely. I don't see it that way anymore. But I will say that our culture likes to give us an opinion about what we should look like, right? And so then we have this pressure that's tied to who we are. Absolutely. Angie was saying, I was there too, judged people, feared other people judging her. Yeah, I think that's a lot of our drive, isn't it? And maybe not just for fat, maybe for other things, is that we fear being judged. We fear being rejected. And even sometimes in our own home. I think there's some women that fear the judgment and the rejection of their own spouse and not even fear it, they experience it. Right? So we've got this last 5 pounds, last 10 pounds, 20 pounds. Maybe some of you have more. Or maybe some of you are at an ideal weight, but you still don't like your body. So physical health and wellness, a lot of people would say, I haven't seen it in there yet written down, but a lot of people would say that it's nutrition and exercise, right? And so nutrition and exercise are what makes up physical wellness. I think that that's 60% right. My opinion. I think that there's something missing in that, sorely missing in that. And we're kind of hinting at it right now. We're hinting at it. But most women and most magazines and books, they're not going to say that this is part of your physical health and wellness. They're not going to give you a plan, an A plus B equals C in this area. Angie, so you guys, Angie, who is not on here, you don't get to see her beautiful face, which I'm super bummed about because I'd like for her to be on here. She is somebody that I've worked side by side with for a couple of years now, right, Angie? Because she's one of what I call an influencer. So she, like I told you, this is my world. I talk about self-image. I talk about identity. I talk about health in mind, body, and soul. This is what I create programs for. And so Angie has done a lot of my programs, and she's an influencer. So she is somebody who walks the walk and talks the talk. And so I wanted her on here because this is the kinds of conversations we have with women year round now, right, Angie? This is the kinds of stuff that we dig into. And the reality is it's a real deal. It's not just a side note gig. It's not just like a little small thing like I need to dust my house. You know, like this is a big deal for a lot of women. And so once we start digging in here, we start to uncover all kinds of things. And so I brought Angie on here because we like to have these real conversations and we start to just get in there. So she would know what I would say is that other piece. And I would say that one piece, not just nutrition, not just physical health, that other piece that we haven't yet nailed, I would say that's the piece that will bring us what we really want. So this leads me to a question. Well, it leads me to a question. I heard this in other words. I wrote it down in my own words because I can't remember exactly how it was said. But I loved this thought. Okay. I'm going to read your comment in just 1 second. I love this thought. It said, would you rather have a healthy, fit, able body, but be imprisoned in your mind and in your soul? So meaning like you don't see yourself as beautiful, or you feel depressed or anxious or insecure, or like you're always battling in your mind and in your heart, but you look amazing, right? Now this is one of those questions that we can have the right answer, right? The right answer, or we can have the real answer. Because the other side of that, or would you rather have a body that's not perfect, maybe even not fully able, meaning there's something doesn't quite work right, but you're free. You're free in your mind. You're free in your soul. And I know some of you described it like peace. I think, Cecilia, you mentioned that. I saw it kind of scroll through here. Yeah, Kathleen, such a good, okay, yeah, Cecilia, you said peace with your physical appearance. Yeah, so you're kind of hitting on it there. Which would you rather have, right? Able-bodied, looking hot, but trapped? Or would you rather go, okay, it's not perfect. I got some fat, I got a bleg going on, I got a mom pooch, but I'm free and I have joy and peace. It's one of those questions because honestly, like I said, we could have the right answer and say, oh yeah, I want peace and joy. But I think a lot of women have tied how they look to peace and joy. If we really get honest about it, right? If we really get honest about it, you can't picture what it would be like to be fat and free. Hard one, isn't it? Like, let's get real, because I think if we were to just sit on that for a little bit, I think a lot of women would go, I don't know if I could be fat and free. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know that I've ever experienced that, or maybe you don't know anyone that's experienced that. But I want you to think for a minute, like, why do we want to be thin? Or like Kathleen, let me go back to what you said. Because I saw you commenting about society doesn't allow us to be fat and free. Interesting thought, Christy. I'd rather have joy and peace. And that's exactly what you've done. Good. Danielle, I don't go to the gym because of judgment. I've lost 60 pounds in 2 years, but I'm still afraid of the gym because women are mean and judgmental and I can't handle it. I don't have as much grace as I should for those people. Yeah, absolutely, Danielle. Isn't that the truth? I mean, I was honest about how I thought too, and it saddens me to think that I had adopted, which we do super fast and super easy. We adopted culture standards. And then we function and get motivated by culture standards. It's not just in fat. It's in how much money we make and what cars we drive and all of that stuff too. I mean, let's just break it down and get it out, right? And so it's in our face every day, isn't it? Kathleen, I'm looking for a comment. The conception of wives being smaller than their husbands, that's what haunts me. I'm an inch taller and 40 pounds heavier than he is. I love your guys' honesty. I love your realness here. This is hard, isn't it? I always tell my husband, like, you and I need to trade legs. His legs are like lean and slender. Mine would look better on a guy. I always had my nickname in high school, which just, public service announcement for high school fellas, which I don't think any are watching or will watch. But maybe to my sons. What did they call me? Quadzilla. Not a compliment to a high school girl. Not a compliment. Anyway, that's a total side note. But yeah, with you, girl, because I have the ability to build quad muscle. And so I do not have the skinny model legs, right? And so the idea of feeling small next to our husband, that's absolutely another cultural thing. So we get to this place where we have these expectations. We have the way that culture sees things. We have these things rumbling around in our mind and in our soul. So what do we do with all of this stuff, right? Because it weighs on us, right? And some of you are saying that you found some freedom in that. You found some peace. I'd like you to say how you found it. I'd like to say how you got there. And I could sum it up and go, Jesus. Absolutely. Jesus has given me all of the freedom that I walk in. But there's more walking out process, isn't it? There's a walking out process of freedom. It's not I'm going to pray that I don't care about my fat today and then tomorrow I'm free. There's a walking out of freedom that has to be done. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about walking out of stuff last night with my husband because we don't like to walk through things, do we? A lot of our prayers are centered around, get me out of that. Like, give me the solution to fix it. Or just change my circumstances completely. Stop the storm. Sometimes we'll have the prayer of help me through it, but we're hoping it's a quick process, right? We're not super into the walking through process because it's hard and it's uncomfortable and it is not fun a majority of the time when we're walking through something. So, the idea of the thought of would I rather be able-bodied, fit, and hot, but prisoned in my mind and in my soul, or the reverse, I can honestly say now that I know what it is like to have a fit body, low body fat percentage, and be completely imprisoned. And it didn't bring me what I wanted. Having a fit body, a low body fat percentage, still didn't make me feel qualified in the eyes of other people. It still didn't help me. I could compare myself to some and feel better about ourselves. And don't we do that? Ugh. So at that point in my life, I could go, well, at least I don't struggle with that. Ridiculous. Anyway, I think about those trains of thoughts, you guys, and I look back to that and go, ugh. But at the same time, I can tell you I was not free to enjoy. Have you ever looked at a picture from your past and gone, oh my gosh, I looked good in that picture. Why did I hate myself? So I can honestly tell you right now, I would rather be free in my mind and my soul than have the fit, hot, 10% body fat body and not be free. Because the body didn't bring what I wanted in the first place. I wanted to feel beautiful. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to feel lovable. I wanted to feel liked. I wanted to feel valuable. I wanted to feel significant. Right? And that body didn't bring that. It didn't. So I would much rather be free. So that leads me to this next question that I wanted to bring up and you guys answer. Do you relate more to this statement, my body is a prison? Or do you relate to this statement, my body is a rental car? Which one do you relate to most? It may not be fully relatable, but which one do you relate to most? I'd be curious to know. So I'll look at some of your comments here while you're thinking about that. Able to have 5 C-sections. Holy rock star, Kathleen. Woo! Amazing. Only by the grace of God I've been able to do that. It's taken me 5 times to realize, praise God, that I have a body that isn't perfect so I can have these kids. So I won't rock shorts outside the house, but God is working on me to give myself grace. Health to me is having the energy to do life with vigor and be able to love unconditionally with a mind that's not a negative attitude. Absolutely. I think you're hitting on it there, Kathleen, of walking out some freedom. I want you to be free to be in those shorts, girlfriend. I want you to be free to rock whatever outfit makes you feel comfortable in the weather and freedom in your skin. Like you love the skin you're in. That's what I want for you. I want that for me. I want that for every girl. I want us to be counter-cultural. That we feel hot, sexy, beautiful, alive, energetic, vibrant, full of life, and has nothing to do with what the body looks like. Now, does that mean that we don't take care of our body, that we don't work out, that we don't eat healthy? No, that's the reason that we do take care of our body, is because we feel so alive, beautiful, valuable, and free. We value our body. So, okay, this is leading me to this last question, okay, and then we'll close up about the body being a prison or a rental car. A prison means the real me, the energetic me, the beautiful me is locked behind a body that doesn't represent me well, right? It holds me back. My body holds me back from being and doing what I want to be and do. Gosh dang it. This is like a passion thing for me because you know how many women feel trapped in their body? I might get teary thinking about this, you guys, so obviously it's a passion for me. I want women to be free and to not be imprisoned in our body and in our mind. Ugh, right? Okay, so I'm looking. Some other things. I love this, Kathleen. I'm a rental car with dings and scratches. Me too, girl. I got the stretch marks from the babies. I've got 4. I don't have 5. I've got 4. So I got the stretch marks, and the last one did me in. The last one, for whatever reason, my skin was like, okay, girlfriend, we stretched, and I'm not going back to original. Too bad for you. So my skin still is a little like soft, loosey feeling around my abs. Right around my belly button, really, where I was really stretched out. So it's never going to go back to being the sleek, flat ab. Just not. Okay, so what else? Body is a prison because of my health issues, not my mommy tummy and my tiger stripes. Absolutely. I think that that's also the case, Danielle, that people can relate to, is not being fully able-bodied. Right? Maybe not having the energy, or they deal with a chronic illness or chronic pain. And that's a whole nother thing, right? Of our body feeling like a prison. Brooke, rental car. Cecilia, body's a prison. Christy, a prison. Yeah, thanks for being honest with your answers, you guys. Whether it's that we feel like a rental car right now and we're proud of it, or we're a rental car and we're not proud of it, or we're in a prison and we want freedom. I think we all can relate to those 2 statements in different ways in different seasons, right? And that's okay. It's okay. What I want to say today is I've been both. I've viewed myself as being in a prison, mind and body. And I view myself as having a rental car. And here's my mission statement for the side of life where I am coaching people in this area, is that I want to always get to the place where I fuel my body to mobilize my soul. I do what I do to my physical body, whether it's exercise, stretching, rest, taking a nap, eating well, drinking water, all of those things. I do that to mobilize my soul, to free up who I really am, to give who I am the best success to start out with, right? Because if I'm tired, then I don't feel free. If I can only think about my fat, then I'm not free and I hold back. If I feel like I'm achy and my body hurts or I've got a headache, then I'm held back, right? I want my body to be free. I want that for you. So maybe the question that we ask ourselves, that third piece, remember I said that physical health is nutrition and exercise? But what if that third piece, and I kind of said it, mind, body, soul, spirit, right? That S part. What if you and I focused harder, came up with a plan with great intention, just like we do for diets, right? Remember the statistic at the beginning? I said that, 80 to 90% of women are on a diet like 70% of their life. What if you and I spent as many hours, time, searching, intention, and focus and energy on growing who we are here before putting nutrition and exercise in place, or alongside of nutrition and exercise? What if we did that? Would we then be able to experience freedom? Would we be able to see ourselves as, hey, I got a rental car. I'm going to have to turn it in at the end of this life. And I'm going to be leaving that body behind. So what I leave behind maybe is just needed for here. But what I'm taking with me, is that really going to give me more of what what my heart is craving? Right? Because why do we fall into cultural standards? Because we're craving something, fitting in, belonging, acceptance, being worth it, being valuable. If we put the work and the energy here, maybe isn't that really the piece of physical health that we could be missing? And isn't it a belief that we have to put our energy, our focus there more so than the physical body and nutrition? I can tell you right now that most girls that do like a program of mine for the first time, they have to work on that belief. Wouldn't you say that, Angie? Brooke, you've done my programs too, don't you? And I think Danielle might have been on here as well. Don't you feel like that's a belief we have to work on? That we don't just believe that right off the bat or right out of the gate, that we got to work on our mind and our spirit just as hard as our physical body? Yeah. I think Paul says it in the word too, like, hey, it's good to take care of your body, but even more so, you are running a spiritual race, girlfriend. Right? And so train it up just like we train our body. So I just want to leave you with that challenge today of, do I believe I've got to work just as hard on my identity, the way that I see myself, on shifting away from cultural standard, on what makes me beautiful, and not just having thoughts about it, doing something with it. Intentionally, like actually having a plan, just like you have a diet or just like you have a workout program, that you actually have a plan and a program that helps you to dig in. That's my challenge for you today is if you can relate to the idea of your body, maybe not loving the skin you're in, maybe your body's like a prison, maybe you are still seeking freedom and joy through how your body looks and feels. Maybe the challenge is to go, what belief could I adopt about my soul, my spirit, and my mind? And what could I intentionally put in place to help bring physical health and wholeness? So I think, Danielle, it was you in the beginning, that piece that you mentioned. What would bring that wholeness to me? What could I put in place? What can my plan be? It's not just to think about it and talk about it right here with us. What could I do? So I just want to leave that, you guys. It's been 30 minutes, so we're just going to go ahead and log off now. But Thank you, those of you who were on with me and being honest and real with your thoughts. Those of you watching later, continue the conversation in the comments below, because like I said, this is a passion of mine and I'd love to steer you in a direction. If you're ready, if you're like, yeah, I'm that girl who knows I need that third piece, the physical health, the nutrition, the exercise, I kind of got that. I know what I need to do there, but I know I got some work to do here. What are some steps? Let's talk about it. Let's have that conversation this week. Angie and Brooke, you guys have been working on that for a long time yourselves. You are influencers in that area. So what could you add to it too about being intentional? That's our word today. Intentional growth here, right? To bring freedom here. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your coffee. We'll be talking about this all next week. All right, have a great day, you guys.